And what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It is your boy Cheap Ludes, and I'm back with another market video. So this weekend is interesting for my team in general. I mean, I know I touched on it a little bit yesterday during my limited tips and my pack opening. I'll link those two at the end of the video if you guys haven't checked that out. But this weekend is the sweatiest weekend that we have had in a while. I'm only 58,000 away from J.R. Smith. Still haven't seen the glitch market open up. I mean, honestly, I could care less if I get Tyrone Lue at this point. Like, I don't care anymore. But we got free cards. Emmanuel Quickly for TT. Obviously, you guys know majority of these. Keldon Johnson. Both those cards are actually really good, by the way. Bradley Beal and Paul Millsap for winning 12 unlimited games, which is hands down the worst. I think the reason this makes me mad is because the people that this card would help the most are the people who have the least chance of getting it. I think that's what's upsetting about it. And these are all limited to the next day and a half that you have to get them done, including the XP challenges at the bottom, which all involve different game modes than the game modes you get the cards from. I'm not even going for Paul Millsap. Like, unlimited is borderline unplayable at this minute. I think I've played 3 to 4 games of unlimited, and I just quit out of 3 of them and just generally lost one. Bradley Beal, you just have to play the games, which is cool. Triple threat, you have to win. TT offline, you should win. Look, TT offline is going to be the easiest. We also got some moments challenges. Tatum, Levine, Trae Young, and Zion. So there's some MT to be made on those guys. Like, most certainly. Especially when it comes to Jason Tatum. Tatum's the one you can make the most MT off. We didn't really get any other challenges except for Bruce Bowen, yeah. If you guys haven't gone and grabbed this Bruce Bowen card, he's actually really, really good. Like a really good shooting guard. Especially for free. So let's take a look at the market and see where we can make some MT off of this. I actually played a game to get Jason Tatum and Zach LaVine done, but I only scored 52 points with Jason Tatum because I thought it was only 50 points, and I'm like, I'm mad because I have to go do it again. If you have any of these pink diamonds, if you have this pink diamond Zach LaVine, I think it is worth selling to get 19 to 20k. Just because even if you're a big Zach LaVine fan, you could take that 19, 20k and just go buy the other one, which is significantly better. If you have this Jason Tatum card, you're about to come up really hard like I am. I'm going to go finish this challenge out, and then I'm going to sell Jason Tatum for like a pretty decent price, which I'm pretty stoked about. Wish I could do that already, but, you know, I should have paid attention a little bit more to the parameters. I mean, you can do it with like a Ruby Jason Tatum just fine, so I might just sell him anyway. Zach LaVine. This card, I personally, if you have it, I don't really think it's worth selling. I mean, the bottom tiers are going for like 15 to 20k is what you're going to get for it. I think at this point, like, he's still a card that's worth that. So if he's in your starting lineup, I don't really think it's worth it. Zion cards, look, if you still have this Zion card, I'm debating if it's worth selling this card or not anymore at this point. I think it is. I think it's worth selling this because you could just go grab Diamond Zach LaVine, who's better than that card, for significantly cheaper. So if you have that Zion card, it's probably a good idea to sell it unless you're saving it for like challenges, you know, like Spotlight Sims or something. Trae Young, Pantheon Trae Young, there's not too many of them out there anymore, I guess. So he's going for about 5,900, 6k. So I'm going to go ahead and sell him because I do have that Amethyst reward one from earlier, so I don't really need this one anyway. So, yeah, if you have this card, probably not a terrible idea to sell it. I mean, we're going to be getting Trae Young base challenges all year, basically, because he's been having a really good year in the NBA, so we're going to be getting Moments Trae Young challenges. But, I mean, majority of them you can just do on rookie difficulty with the normal Trae Young that you can buy for 800 MT in, like, 4 days. Zach LaVine's going decent. I mean, if you have this Emerald Zach LaVine, most people have Zach LaVine, or at least can get him pretty easily, so you can still get some people who are on the lower budget by selling the Zach LaVine for like 2k. Not saying you're going to get a lot. But the other problem is the packs yesterday, the odds were messed up on them, so the lowest possible card you could pull was like an Emerald. So the Emerald, Ruby, Sapphire market is just flooded because of the out of position packs yesterday. So there's not a lot of value to extract except for Jason Tatum, because Jason Tatum only has like 3 cards in this game currently right now. Besides the free one that some people got at the beginning of the year that other people didn't. So I mean, you can get 3 or 4K for a Ruby Jason Tatum. That's like a pretty good deal. Same with Trae Young. You're going to get between like 2 to 4K for this card. And that's not a bad price for him at all. Especially because you can pick him up for 900 MT in like 5 days. Like when the mystery packs come out on Tuesday, you'll be able to pick him up for that. Zion, looks like you're getting 1,000 to 1,500. I'm not sure, like, because I have the starter Zion that you got when you actually like started the game, and I don't remember if that card was universal for everyone or if you had to buy the special edition to get that card. I don't remember, but either way, Zions are very plentiful anyway, so you're probably only going to get 1,000 to 1,500 for a Zion. But I mean, it's free MT at the end of the day, so I guess it's not really too terrible. It could be worse, but it is what it is. I mean, as far as heat check guys are expensive right now as well. Because in Limited, you can't use bronze or silvers to lower your overall, but you can use heat check guys. So some of these lower overall heat check dudes are super expensive. Anyone who's below like a 70 is going to run you 10k. And if you have any of these guys and you got your Bradley Beal, you got your ring, I highly recommend selling these cards. Even guys that are at like the 70, 71 tier will net you 3 to 4k. Like Ryan Arcianato. Yeah, even Dylan Windler is getting you 3k. People are trying to lower their overall as much as humanly possible to try to win these limited games. So it's probably a good idea to try to do that ASAP. You could, like, with all the lower overall heat check guys that I have, like, I could probably net myself 50 to 60k. If you like Nick Richards, he's going for 7k. Is that Nick Richards? Is that his name? Even Udonis Haslam's probably expensive. Yeah, he's like 4k. You can make a good amount of MT off of these guys. It's never a bad idea to invest in these heat check guys, especially with limited being a thing, because limited will do something. Yo, the GOAT going for 6k. I'll wait till limited's over and I'll buy one. I'll buy a heat check Jalen LeCue. I wish I could badge him up. That'd be so sick. Help me get to 5k subscribers so I could do a Jalen LeCue gameplay. Please. Oh man, Anthony Gill. He's going for... See, there's like a lot of MT to be made in the heat check market. I think the Rockets have like 2 guys that are 67. There's not even a single Mason Jones heat check guy up, but I think there's a couple. Yep, Kenyon Martin Jr. is up for about 8k. There's a lot of MT to be made on low overall heat check guys. That's basically what I'm getting at there. If you have any of them and you're done with limited this weekend, sell them ASAP, because you're going to make some pretty decent MT. Gold cards in general too are going for a pretty solid amount, especially guys that have like lower overall stats. Like, let's say you look at Kendrick Nunn, he's going for about 2 Gs. I mean, pretty solid for a gold card. Like, I'm not even kidding, no gold cards dropped from the out of position packs. Like, not a single one. At least to my knowledge. Like, I opened a bunch of packs. I've watched multiple people open a bunch of packs, and I never saw a single gold or silver player drop from those packs. So I'm guessing that the odds were all messed up on those. So there will still be some value for some of these gold guys in the future. Like, look at the offensive, defensive overalls. If you have any guys that are like, you know, offense 72, defense like 68, like Eric Pascal 79, 66, he'll lower the overall a little bit. Looks like people haven't picked up on that. You know, he's still going for 1,700, but there are options to lower your overall out there outside of the heat check guys, so it's smart to capitalize. And a lot of people just don't have a bunch of gold cards because majority of the player base opens packs, but there is a small few that don't really open packs very much, so they're not going to have a lot of these current guys. They're just pretty much going to sell them instantly. They probably only have 30, 40 cards in rotation at a time, so I don't know. Series 1 guys, they're also going for a decent amount. A little bit less, which is weird because they'll actually lower your overall even more than the other guys. Like someone like Miles Bridges will, just because the Series 1 overalls are even lower than the Series 2. And less people have them, so it's weird that their overall price is kind of lower than the Series 1 or 21 current guys. But it's also because those lock in for more tokens too. It's like a whole thing. Looking at some older cards too that'll help you out, like in limited, that was still going for a lot. Kyle Korver's 92 offense, 75 defense. Like, he's definitely going to help, and his price does reflect that. He's going for about 4k. I might even use him. Nick Anderson will help you out a little bit too. He's like 92, 82. It'll lower the overall a bit. I think Jeff Green is up in price a lot. No, he's not. I checked him earlier. He's like 2,000 from what I understand, but it's no worries. Rex Chapman, who I was using. Can't stop using Rex Chapman. We need an updated Rex Chapman card. I need Spotlight Sims, like the Spotlight Sim cards, to come back so we can get some community cards out here, because I'm trying to get some tight cards. Alright, let's move into the out of position cards. Joakim Noah you can get for almost discard value, like 2,000, 3,000 MT. He's a fun card to use. I recommend picking him up. If for nothing, Bull Spotlight Sims in the future. Picking him up while he's cheap, he'll be very helpful. LaMelo Ball is another card that's not a terrible card to pick up. He's an absolute beast in TTO. Think back to that out of position Westbrook last year that everybody ran. Same thing. Like, LaMelo Ball is a monster in TTO. Because TTO is positionless, so it doesn't really matter. He's not a good power forward, I will say that right off the bat. Like, it's not. Just like that Westbrook, he's not going to be great. I mean, he's 6'7" at least, so he's got a little bit of height. And he can run the point forward pretty decent, but he's not a card that you're going to be using on your main squad. But when it comes to triple threat purposes, like, he's incredibly good. Now, Magic Johnson, this card's really cheap, obviously, because he plays center power forward. And the one thing I will say about him, granted, he's not a great power forward to run. I will say that right off the bat. Or a great center. But in the power forward role, he actually operates similar to like a Draymond Green. And he's not bad at it. Or like a Bob McAdoo type guy. Like a nice point forward. He can stretch the floor a little bit. He can be like a secondary ball handler. He's not going to play the best defense in the world. He's not terrible defensively. He's the same as the Opal. Chris Webber. Yeah, I don't really know. Why did they pick this picture for Chris Webber? Like, why does he look like that? He looks so happy to be holding that basketball. I mean, he's pretty solid. He reminds me of point guard Blake Griffin from last year. He's not that great of a dribbler. He's got great size, but he's almost 6'9". I mean, Kevin Durant. I'm not a huge Durant guy in 2K. His shot is too inconsistent for me. It always has been. That being said, I mean, you're getting almost a 7-footer to play 2 guard, so do what you will. Kobe is obviously way too expensive. Now, I will say that I have this Kobe card, and as much as I like this card, he plays significantly better in a 2-guard role, so I wish he was point guard, shooting guard, or even point guard, small forward, because he would have been good as a small forward too. Same with Grant Hill. Both of these guys, everyone was really terrified when they came out yesterday, and I would say that neither of these guys are game-breaking. Like, by any stretch, I don't think either of them are. Kobe is incredible, yes, but he has some noticeable drawbacks at the point guard position. If you're a dribble god at all, you're going to hate Kobe and Grant Hill. Neither of them are that great on the dribbling front. They're both fast, but they just don't move the way you want a point guard to move if you play that style of basketball. Like, I like Kobe as my point guard, but I will say someone like a Luka or a Magic is a little bit better for my playstyle because I use them as more of a ball handler and somebody that's going to, I don't know, just get open. And Kobe doesn't really have the dribble animations to do so. He's a monster, don't get me wrong, but that is something to kind of anticipate. Now, if you were to run like Magic at shooting guard and then primary ball handle with him and then have Kobe play as like a point shooting like combo, then I could see him being like a little bit more of a game-breaking card, but him as like your primary ball handler. I mean, Grant Hill and Kobe are essentially very similar cards. Kobe has the better jump shot animations, which by a long shot, I do not like Grant Hill's release at all, but that's just me. But Grant Hill is also $600k cheaper, so I don't know. They're factorly the same card. I mean, like, as far as like how good they actually are, they're about the same. Kobe's got a little bit better jump shot. Grant Hill's a little bit bigger. He'll probably last a little longer. Magic Johnson's still cheap for some reason. I don't really know what that's all about. That's kind of confusing me. Just because, I mean, he's still like a top tier point guard in this game. I don't understand why he's like so cheap right now, but it is what it is. I think everyone's blindsided by like the release of these cards, and that's why guys like Magic and Luka, their price is still down. Even though truly there's still elite point guard options in this game, and there's no real reason that they should be this cheap. Also, like, why can't Bradley Beal play point guard 2K? So when we're talking about Bruce Bowen, Some of these cards are still kind of expensive right now, actually, because you do need to score 40 points with Spurs small forward, so some of the Spurs small forward guys are going to be a little bit more expensive. The other one's like 5 assists with Spurs shooting guard, so that one's like not really that crazy. But if we're just looking at, let's just look at like Spurs shooting guards, and I'll look at ones I don't have. Yeah, these are the only 2 I don't have. Manu's still going for 30k. That's crazy. That's crazy. All right. Anyways, Tracy McGrady's going for 7. That's crazy. People are nuts. Now, if you're lacking in Spurs players, because there is the part where you need to win a game with 8 Spurs players, right off the bat, just go do rookie domination for that. Like, don't even try to do anything else with it, unless you have like an elite Spurs team. But if you're in need of like some of these cards to hold down challenges or whatever, like, I'd just go Danny Green. Personally, he's the one who might be usable for something else in the future. Like if we have to use like all emeralds next week, like Danny Green might actually help you. He's actually pretty solid, so that's who I would recommend personally. Or Lonnie Walker for heat check purposes, but I don't know. Small forward, same thing. Like a lot of the small forwards are going for a decent amount, so if you have any of these cards, not a terrible idea to sell them now after you get Bruce Bowen. Even Fat Dominique is going for like almost 4k. That's crazy. That's nuts, man. But yeah, I mean, good luck everybody trying to get these cards this weekend. I know it's like a grind and a half. I would just focus on one specifically that you want, and then just try to get the rest if you can. Like I'm kind of splitting them up because I know I'm going to get those 3. I'm not even going for Paul Millsap. I know that. Like I don't care. I want Paul Millsap, but I'm not playing all that unlimited to get him. So as always, it's been your boy Cheap Ludes. I'll be back later with more content. Check the description, and peace.